Right. Do we have game modes? I don't have game modes. Do we have World Driver? No, we don't have that. Oh, we should have World Driver. We do have World Driver. Excellent. Yes, I have audio! How's the volume levels, folks? The game is too loud, okay. How's that? Oh, hello. Interesting. Oh yes, I haven't got just giving utility running. Can soon fix that. Yeah, Windows ME was ridiculous, awful. Windows 98 SE was their best in that genre. DOS 6.2 was the ultimate in that sort of area. Windows 98 SE was the perfection of that version, and I don't know. Windows 7 was definitely very good in its thing, but I do prefer Win 10 personally. No, Windows 8 and 8.1 are best left not discussed. Did you hear about their plan to merge Windows CE, Windows ME and Windows NT? To create a rock-solid foundation for all operating systems. I tend to agree with you, BRCW, because I've worked with Unix or various flavours and Linux for a long time as well. But then I also find that Unix and Linux can't do what Windows needs to be able to do, certainly on the desktop. It's a really different environment. For techies, it's great. You know, for you and I, a lot of the things that we want to do on a desktop are fine. But for the vast majority of people, I mean, I installed Linux at one point just to see, you know, where it was at, you know, very latest thing, because I hadn't used it in such a long time. I pulled the latest distribution, installed it. It was dead easy to install. I was really impressed with the installation. It was easier than Windows to install at the time. I was like, okay, then maybe this has actually come on a long way. And the first thing I needed to do was, I think it was to print something, and I had to recompile the kernel. It's like, what? What do you mean recompile the kernel? Now, I'm quite capable of doing that, but this doesn't look like a 3 to 5 car train. It's fine. It's fine, Rendelator. Shh. See? Is that better? But anyway, we're back up and running again. Let's have some donations in, just to commemorate the fact that we're back up and running. We're at 1,200 at the moment. This scenario is called Sulzer Swap. If you look at the schedule, you can see roughly what I should be running at a given time. Although we're going to be behind schedule now again. We're almost running to schedule there, almost bang on. Yeah, that describes Unix quite a lot, Glenn Eggol, where the fun is using the operating system rather than it being a tool that supports all the other things that you want to do. And in that instance, it's great fun. Linux is just, there's so much you can do with it. It's so flexible. Why isn't Stephen Jam's AI scenario in the schedule? Because it wasn't ready, I think, until late last night, and I'd finished the schedule completely long before then. But that's fine, we'll run it next week. There is no setting for TS 2018 yet in Twitch, Acme Chief. Your other account was hacked, Stan Leeds. Oh my word. Well, welcome back. Would it be possible to run the streaming PC on Linux then? Possibly. Possibly. Let me think. Because TS Connect can run under Mono, probably. I don't run any other apps of note on here. So yeah, the streaming PC probably could actually be switched to Linux. As long as I could get the Elgato capture card working under Linux, that is. Yeah, I've no idea if you can run the Linux, the Elgato on Linux. So one of the mods has just made a suggestion that if we can get it to 1500 by the end of the 100-minute PZB scenario, so not this one but the next scenario, then we should do 15 giveaways. And I like that idea. So if we can get it to £1,500 on Just Giving by the end of well, by about 5 o'clock it will work out at 5:05 time, then we'll do 15 giveaways. Otherwise it'll just be 5 as normal. Right, almost there. Maybe I'll put another disc in here at some point then and give that a try, because that's something that Linux might actually be better for. What if we give up on the next scenario? You mean what if I give up and abandon it? I don't know. Well, we'll see. I try not to do that. I don't want to either, because it's. I did Intercity 132 on the last charity stream and broke the loco. So I'm trying again. I think, to be fair, I broke the loco because the rail driver doesn't work with the BR101. So I'm not going to use a rail driver this time and see if that works better. Right, are we all back up and working again now? Is there anything missing, wrong, uncomfortable, other than the camera up here? That's not going to change. And the microphone, that's not going to change. I've got my ear thing on the wrong way round. No one's noticed that. Well, they'd work with the Raildriver if I coded a script for them, but I've not taken the time and effort to code the custom script for the virtual railroads locos. Nice to see BR again. I must admit, I do like running BR Blue, BRCW. It's amusing because when I was growing up, I hated it with a passion. Because that was what we saw. Everything was blue. I'm like, oh my word, it's a blue train. Whereas now, it's just like, oh, there's too much colour. It's crazy, my eyes hurt. But yeah, most of the model trains I buy, 00 gauge ones, end up being BR Blue. BR Blue and weathered. Should look beaten up and abused. Rob! Microsoft woes, blame Ed, keep up the good work. Thank you very much, Ed. And there's an anonymous donation as well, 757. Thank you very much. I think that's everybody I missed, yeah. So thank you very much, folks, for those donations. Very generous, thank you. I like a lot of the different BR liveries, to be honest. DS trains, they all hold some, even just plain blue sometimes. We're way ahead of schedule, so I can come in. I can come in gently. Text donation, thank you very much. That's putting us up at 12.49. Getting closer to that 1500 mark. 15 giveaways. Can someone find out what was the target we set for the ketchup bacon sandwich last time? Was it 1500, or was it higher than that? I think it was something like 1500 for the bacon. 1800 was when Bossman Games was going to come and hand deliver me ketchup because I hadn't got any, and then 2000 was if you wanted me to consume it on the stream, something like that. Was it 3000? Step up, folks, step up. Got to do better than last stream. 2000 rings a bell. I mean, the total was about 4000, so half of that seems reasonable. You'll get there in the end, Dan. It was 1200 to bring on the ketchup. Really? Because we ended up, I think, at the end of the day with something like 1900. Yeah, we did lose all the recordings. Yeah, all right then. Thanks very much, Ed. Thanks for reminding me. With a station model like this, though, don't you just want to get out of the train and walk around? That's the only problem I find, having used TS World, is that now my expectations have gone up. It's like, why can't I get out and walk around? Passengers are probably thinking, oh, finally, you can't get up and walk around. Just sit in the seat and get on with what you're supposed to be doing. But. Oh, BR Blue trains in TS World. Seriously. How can we get the Class 117? What, this one? Oh, hello. Let's look at this side. I don't think that's actually... It's a marketplace pack. I don't think it's available anymore. No, Unreal still haven't released the audio engine update, unfortunately. I think there might be a version of it there that's in experimental mode, but we're not even going to look at it until it's out of experimental. I'd love to be able to SDH, but it's not out of it's out of my hands, I'm afraid. Yeah, the audio engine was supposed to be available in one of the original estimates for the audio engine were before CSX Heavy Haul came out. But you know what? Sometimes development just takes longer. Alright, we're going via Holywell Junction. Yes, Dan. It's a standard thing in most software companies that it's part of the contract that basically says anything you do belongs to the company. Which sounds harsh, but it's a lot more to it than that. It's not quite that simple, but it's even more specific because it's a train sim add-on. So the main concern is the fact that I'd release something and then everyone would start wanting Dovetail support, and if it blew someone's computer up, they'd blame Dovetail for it, or because I'm, you know, everyone associates me with Dovetail for, you know, because I've been on all the streams and so forth. But in order for Dovetail to be able to release it, Dan, they'd have to go through all their own QA. They'd have to work out how they're going to support it. You can't just stick a zip file on a website and just say, "Hey, have it," and we don't care what happens to it. That's not how it works. So it's one of those things that there's no easy answer to, I'm afraid. I wish there was, but there isn't. Did I miss the Gronk, Ed? Or is it a Mostin? Not Mostin. This up here. Point of air. Have I seen the new Scania from ETS2? No, I haven't. No. I saw that they have put... There's two of them, isn't it? There's the R and the S. How many more stops? Not many. So in fact Chester is the last stop. We've got waypoints until Chester. Due in about 14 minutes or 25 minutes or so. We're good. We're good. Cameron Young making it around 1260. Yep, nicely done. Thank you very much, Cameron. So can someone else make a BR blue livery from 117 and put it on Marketplace? Well, someone else can definitely make a BR blue livery. Whether you can put it on Marketplace, you'd have to talk to the third party team about that. Theory and technically, yeah, I don't see why not. Gronk hype! See you, back to you. Yeah, I'm not going to take the Euro Trucks in 1.3 update until Pro Mods supports it, because I'm kind of bored of losing my Pro Mods. No, I don't think they're that popular on Crazy Dan, to be honest, and they're probably about as much work overall than putting a Loco DLC out. So if you're working out where you want to put your effort, you put it there, wouldn't you? Because you've only got, any team's only got a finite amount of time they can spend in the day. Yeah, you've got scenery on the route, so all the scenery is up to there. In fact, scenery goes out to Conwy here and up to Llandudno up here. Doesn't go down here, that's just there for AI. Similarly, a lot of the other ones are just for AI. But yeah, the route essentially is fully scenery. Gouge, how are we doing with subscribers? There's a bunch. Once the September thing stopped, then a bunch went down, so we're still quite a long way away from getting new subs. New icons, I'm afraid. The 66 drag is called Dragline, that's the one, yeah. That's the one where you have to get out and couple them up. That's a good scenario. How far is Chester? 20 miles. Nuts Life, the my streaming PC, the one that runs the stream, decided that it needed to desperately do a Windows update, and so it crashed and burned, and I had to reboot it, and then wait for it to do a Windows update. What do I mean when I say AI? So AI, artificial intelligence, an AI train is a computer-controlled train, essentially. Crew to London, yeah. That's a long old route. Hey Simon, how are you? No, Clan ridiculously long name. Clanfair PG is west of Conwy, if I remember rightly. It's on the bit going up to Holyhead. Jack, you can get refunds on any Steam item as long as you haven't used it for more than 2 hours. DLC is a bit more tricky, so if you buy a bit of DLC and then use the base game, even if you don't use that particular DLC, it counts how long you use the base game for, because it doesn't know whether you're using the DLC. So if you buy a route, make sure that you spend the next 2 hours in the game making sure you're happy with the route, because if you buy the route, spend 2 hours doing something else, you can no longer refund that route. With regular games, it's just 2 hours on that game. As in, if you buy a new game. It's only 180 miles, yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing that one from you then, Trackside. Well, as I understand it, Cafe PG is the abbreviated way of saying it, isn't it? Okay, so I say clan instead of clan. I'm trying not to put too much phlegm on my screen. It's funny because you guys can hear so much more of what's going off. Outside, I can't hear a thing. Someone might be still in my car, I can't hear it. These headphones block out everything. No, I can't say the whole name, Captain Jenks. My son can, very well. It became a game at school, I think. It was probably real life. There was no... I didn't hear a car alarm, white meat. The town that Val's forgot, yeah. No, I can't see it. I'll check the car in a minute. As long as the alarm keeps going off, they're obviously not taking the car away. You know what? Most people can't figure out how to drive a Prius anyway. The number of times you take it into the garage and we have to explain it to them. The car alarm's gone, the car alarm's sitting on the sidewalk. Hey, Axel, press button. How are you doing? Danny, you're about to say it's Gillingham, they steal anything. This is true. This is true. It's basically like it's the way you have to have the breakdown. So if you just push the power button in, it sort of looks like it started up, but it hasn't. Oh, 90. And so you have to, and if you then make that mistake, you've got to switch it off again. You have to put your foot down on the... I'm probably explaining it for the person who's behind the garage trying to work out how to steal my car. But yeah, there's a combination of things you've got to press in the right order for the thing to start up properly. And it doesn't help that it doesn't seem to have a gear stick. Any sort of gear stick. So if initially it's not quite obvious how you put it even in drive. I know Gillingham's got a pretty ropey reputation as well, Fennekin. Don't forget to crank the start handle. Ouch. We're trending on Just Giving, are we? We did last time as well. Let's keep the donations coming in, folks. We're at 1260. Let's get it to 1500. It's a Prius, isn't there? A big key sticking out the back. Ouch. Oh, the new Tesla truck, yeah. I want it in ETS. And there's a new Tesla Roadster, isn't there? I like Tesla stuff. Tesla's awesome. They're a good company as well, from what I've seen. Well, no, you whack it with a hammer if it doesn't work, so that you then know why it doesn't work. Oh, we've got another train heading over the line over there from Shotton. It's not Shotton. It is Shotton. Michael Stobart, keep up the good work, Matt. Thank you very much, Michael. Much appreciated. Well, it's like the vehicle batteries on mine, BRCW, but the point is you shouldn't have to. If I need to get a new set of batteries on the Prius, it's about, I think, 6,000 to 8,000 quid. Something like that. That's certainly what it used to be. So essentially, if I need to find a new set of batteries, then the car's a write-off. However, I get when you bought a Prius, you get an 8-year warranty on the entire drivetrain. Hey, B9 Bot, thanks Matt for giving your time to help humanity's future, which is our kids. Thanks for the fun streams for all to enjoy. Thank you very much, B9 Bot, and that pushes us to 1303. Well done, folks. That's brilliant. Thank you. Yeah, so you get an 8-year warranty on the whole drivetrain. So if in the first 8 years anything fails on it, including the batteries, then the replacements are part of the warranty. So, and these days people only keep a car for 5 minutes before they replace it. So. Hey, welcome, Coplopper. Well, I don't know. I've not checked to see what the batteries are now. Hey, Phil Tier. Good luck, Matt. Sorry you can't join the stream. GG's, Phil Tier. Thank you very much. Phil was busy these days and can't really join the stream very often, but good to know he's still thinking of us. Coplopper Mal, 13 months hype. Thank you for the resub, Coplopper Mal. Much appreciated. True, Simply Transport. However, the if you tot up the environmental cost of the, this is a myth that a lot of people purport about with the electric cars. So if you tot up the environmental cost of creation and disposing of the burst bit, the batteries, and the car in general, the car in general is environmentally breaks even against other cars after about, I think it is the 8th year. So after the 8th year, you're better off environmentally than if you'd had a petrol car. Never mind the fact that I'm financially much better off environmentally. So now, from now, the car is better off had I had a a petrol. I've no idea what I just said there. The environment's better off that I've got a Prius than if I had an electric petrol. Oh, you know what I mean. Miss Amar! Next bit, we'll blame less small Amar for this one. Thank you very much, Miss Amar. But do you keep a car for 8 years? I do. My car is 9-10 years old, and I'm not going to replace it until it dies. I never replace cars until I need to. Also, the batteries usually die before 8 years. I know, that's why they give you an 8-year warranty on the batteries. And I think in most cases Prius batteries don't. Besides, the other way of looking at this is that it's progressive tech. It's not necessarily right now, but if we don't invest in it, companies don't build tech on it, we're stuck with petrol until they run out and then we can't move cars anymore. They're horribly ugly. Well, that's a personal preference. I don't mind. See, I'm not a car person. I just want to say I have zero interest in cars. That's why I don't replace it until it needs replacing. As long as it's getting me where I want to go and functions as a utility, then I'm quite happy with it. Speed on this route is in miles per hour. Drop down to 50. Well, I quite fancy a Model 3 Tesla because they're a sensible price. But when I get a new car, I'll see what the tech is at the time. Might go back to petrol. Might stick with a hybrid, go full electric. My biggest concern with full electric cars is that the range still isn't there, and the recharge takes too long. It's like you go for a long journey and you're looking at a 45-50 minute recharge time. And that's if you fast charge the battery, and that doesn't do them any good. So that's my main concern with those, whereas at least a hybrid, you can still top up your petrol. So I roll up to the garage as the doors are falling off where you replace them. Pretty much. My Nissan Primera was pretty much on its last legs when I dropped it off at the garage to get the Prius. Had a horrible feeling there. My screen just went black. Do not tell me we're going to get another forced update. Yeah, well, I could hear the sound, so I knew the computer was still there. There's nothing popped up on the machine saying I'm going to reboot in 30 seconds. Oh yeah, I've got an Xbox controller plugged in. Yeah, spot on. Right, we're just arriving at Chester. I don't have any particular desire for any kind of engine, to be honest. If hydrogen fuel or water fuel or something became a good thing to use, I'm quite happy to use them as well. like I said, to me a car is a utility. It gets me from point A to point B. If it can do that, then that's the first box ticked. Car with a steam engine, yeah. Aren't hydrogen cells getting popular in the design circles? That train is at the peak of its performance. Alright, I'll go away. Hey there, Hectic T. You've moved to California, you just solar powered car. Hey, you know what, if it works. Getting rid of your car on Thursday. Well, I think where you are, Katie, you probably, if you're not using your car and you can use public transport. I know my one of my cars, my Vectra, was stolen when we were in London, and it was a good year before I replaced it because we didn't need it. Everywhere we wanted to go, we could either get to, get the shopping delivered, get a taxi to the shops if we needed it. Everything else was on the tube or accessed in London. Somi16 has raided you with a party of 3. Hey, someone using the new /raid functionality. Thank you for the raid. How about a Morris Ital? I had a Morris Ital until the gear stick broke. Well, one of the gears broke. You could only start the car in second gear. But I kept it even then. Good work. We've arrived all safe and sound. Oh, I got a silver. Wow, gold was what, not 1,000 points or 995?